attention, please. Hello. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to welcome you to the 11th edition of ACM Projects Presentation Night. For those of you who may not know, ACM Projects is a semester-long guided program that's dedicated to teaching new software developers how to make their own project and do so in a team environment. So, with that said, my name is Francis Masinkai. I'm the co-director for projects, and this is...
Hi, I'm Anushka Pimplay, and together we go ahead and lead ACM Projects. And we'd like to start out by saying that we couldn't have been here without our amazing team who has been supporting us since day one. All of the people that you're about to meet have been a crucial, a vital, and essential part in making tonight's event happen. So a huge shout out to them. But Francis, I'll go ahead and pass it off to you to kick off our team introductions.
All right, so first of all, we'd like to recognize ACM's President and Vice President, Saksham and Jocelyn. We couldn't have done anything that we do as projects without your support and your advice, so thank you. Up next, we'd like to give a special shout out to
Aditya and Shoaib. Thank you, Aditya, for helping live stream tonight's event. A lot of the graphics and the music that you're going to hear tonight is because of Aditya's effort, and he's been really amazing in helping with ACM's outreach and just making the program go a next level ahead. So thank you, Aditya, for everything. And thank you, Shoaib, for helping photograph tonight's event and making this even more memorable for each and every one of us and our participants. Of course, I cannot forget to thank our amazing project managers who have worked tirelessly throughout the summer and the semester to come up with amazing ideas and lead their teams to success. All of the presentations that you're going to see tonight are because of our PMs and their great effort in leading. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to y'all to do introductions and talk about your project.
Thank you, Anushka. Hey everyone, my name is Avani Garde and I'm the project manager for Holinwell this semester. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know my team, get to see what all the other teams have been coming up with, and I'm really excited to see everyone's projects tonight. Thank you all for being here.
Hello everyone, I'm the project manager for Remember Me. I'm really excited to see all the projects, and I'm really glad that you guys came here. I hope you guys enjoy the projects.
Hi everyone, my name is Faiza and I'm the project manager for My Muse. I just want to give a shout out to all the participants. I know we all worked super hard this semester and I'm really looking forward to seeing what everyone has to present. So good luck everyone.
Hello everyone, I'm Arlan Jamil. I'm the project manager for Envoy. I'd like to say I've seen everyone working really hard this semester and really excited to see all their hard work come to life here at Presentation Night, and good luck to everyone.
My name is Grace Yang, and I'm the project manager for Admire. I had a super good time working with my participants this semester, and I'm really excited to see what everyone else has to present today.
Hey everyone, I'm Kenneth Antilla. I'm the project manager for News Up, and I just wanted to give a big shout out to all participants for growing so much this semester, for doing what you probably think you could do, and for achieving what you've done. So great job.
Hi guys, my name is Paula Parkova. I am the PM for Shop and Share this semester. I've had an amazing time and it's been a pleasure working with such hardworking participants, and I can't wait to see everyone's presentations and both sweat and tears. Good luck everyone. Hi y'all, I'm Sonika Kulkarni. I am the PM for Right. It's been an absolute joy working with my team and the PM and co-director team as well, so I'm very excited to see what everyone has come up with.
Hey guys, my name is Shagun Dalal. I'm the project manager for MoodWaves, and I just wanted to say that you guys should be really proud of yourselves, and I hope you guys enjoyed projects as much as we did.
Hi, I'm Veda Charthid. I'm the PM for iPlan. It was definitely an eventful 10 weeks, and I'm sure all the participants can feel the same way. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and good luck to all the teams.
All right, thank you, PMs.
Next, we'd like to give a very special thank you to all the industry mentors who helped us this semester, gave their advice, and took time out of their busy schedule to be here, be there at our team meetings. So thank you to Joanna, Ram, Temito, Rashmi, John, Sean, Yoon, Xavier, Hannah, and Matthew. We couldn't have done it without you, and we really appreciate all the mentorship you gave us.
All right, so before we start our presentations, I'd like to go ahead and introduce and give a huge thank you to our panel of judges who have volunteered their time to ask questions to our teams, as well as judge our projects. We couldn't have made presentation night the same without y'all, so thank you so much. But I'll go ahead and hand it over to y'all to start the panel introductions.
John Cole, whoops, I don't need it. Y'all know if you've been in one of my classes. So I'm thrilled to see you all here. Looking forward to seeing the projects. I wish every one of you all the best.
All right, this one works. All right, hey y'all, my name's Josh. I'm with JPMorgan Chase. I see a lot of familiar faces. I'm sorry I don't remember all of your names, but I'm very excited to be here, just hear about the hard work that you've done, some of the really cool projects that I've heard already, and so just excited to see everything that you've got. Thanks y'all.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessie. I am from Capital One and I used to be a projects member myself, so I know that every semester the bar raises higher and higher, so I'm very excited to see what you guys have brought today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you judges, and unfortunately Alex could not join us today because of an injury, but he did wish a best of luck to all of our teams and participants, so good luck y'all.
All right, now we'd like to get started with team presentations, and then just as to give y'all a general layout of what to expect, each team will be given 6 minutes to present their project, after which there will be a 2-minute Q&A from the judges before the next team is called. We do ask that you leave your applause for the very end to wait until all teams have presented, just for time's sake. But with that said, I'd like to invite our first team of the night, Team Admire.
How many of you can remember every accomplishment you've had from the past 5 years? How many of you have ever felt discouraged because you focused more on the things you haven't accomplished? Well, welcome to Admire, where we encourage you to take a step back and admire yourself and think about the things you have accomplished. My name's Matt, I worked on the front end.
My name is DeMarcus, I work on the front end.
My name is Naveda and I worked on the back end.
And I'm Siri and I worked on the back end.
Now, the main focus of our app is to combat imposter syndrome. And imposter syndrome is a collection of feelings of inadequacy that persist despite having evident success. Many people have felt imposter syndrome throughout history, such as Maya Angelou, Lady Gaga, people on the Admire team, and maybe even yourself at some point. But why did we create Admire to fight imposter syndrome?
Alright, so we decided to create Admire because we recognize that around 82% of the general population has felt imposter syndrome at some point in their life, usually around adolescence or when they're late-stage professionals. So it could be you, or it could be your own professors who feel that way. Along with that, we recognize that imposter syndrome is often associated with depression and anxiety, and a lot of apps focus on the depression and anxiety without focusing on the root cause. So what we want to do is we want to fight that root cause before we move on to any other issues. As for our demo,
Alright, so here is our tech demo. So let's go click on our app and let's try signing in. So for our app, we click in the sign up button. You will either display or put in your full name, your username and email, as well as a password. And now, when you click on the sign up button, it'll take you to our home page. And so on our home page, we have some default achievements to help you get started. And if you click on the new information at the top, it'll generate new information for you. On our calendar page, click on the smiley face, which will generate a yellow rectangle to indicate a good day, and a sad face, which will generate a blue rectangle for a bad day. Now, onto our profile page, we also have some default achievements to help you get started. And clicking on our Add Achievement button will take you to our Add Achievement page. So on your Add Achievement page, what you want to do is put in the title of your achievement, what was your achievement, as well as when was your achievement. And so after we put in all these details and click on the Add Achievement to Profile, this gives us the option to share our achievement. Clicking yes, and we'll share it to our friend Lucas here, and we can send it on an SMS. Now let's go navigate back to our profile page to see what we did with our achievement. And so now, refreshing our page, you'll see that on our profile page, it'll display our achievement on your profile page as well as the details. Going to our home page and refreshing, we'll do the same thing and also display your achievement onto the home page. And now, if we wait a couple of seconds, you'll see at the top a notification is going to pop down. So every 24 hours, you'll get a notification to remind a random achievement that you've created that will show you how great you are. And click on the notification, we'll dismiss it. Now I'll pass on to Siri to talk about our tech stack.
Alright, so for our tech stack, we decided for our front end to use React Native. We really liked how customizable it was, and we felt that a lot of the features we wanted to implement were easily implementable, such as the share that you saw, as well as integrating the affirmations that you saw recently. Along with that, we wanted to use Firebase for our backend, specifically for our database and for our authentication. We use Cloud Firestore for the database. And we chose Firebase because we recognize that it's really easy to integrate into our code. Along with that, we use JavaScript as our language, as we are using React Native. And for our API, we use the Zen Quotes Inspirational Quotes API because we really liked the options they had for the quotes and felt that it really fit with the vibe we wanted to give the app. And I'll pass it on to Nevada to talk about competition.
So these are some of our competitors, and some of them we've chosen solely based on the fact that they are self-improvement apps. Think Up is an app that allows you to record powerful affirmations. Headspace is a meditation app that gives you access to hundreds of meditations to hopefully boost your mood. And Stoic is both a meditation and a journaling app that will hopefully help you work through some of your strong emotions. Now, unlike our competitors, we aim to directly combat imposter syndrome. We do this through reminding you of your own personal achievements, and also we keep a log of all of your achievements that you can look back to in the future. Now on to some of the challenges that we faced while building our app.
Now, early on in the development of our app, we had problems envisioning the general flow in the UI UX design, but collaborating and making wireframes allowed us to see a bigger picture and create an experience for the user that made it easy to see their achievements and log them. Later on down the line, implementing the database and the notifications was challenging, but researching the documentation and working with the team made it a lot easier to implement that in the final version of our app. What's next for Admire?
So what we want to implement in the future is we really want to focus on friend capabilities. We recognize that you don't always notice your own achievements, but your friends do. And so by having friends, we want to have them add achievements to your page, share these achievements, and like these achievements, so you feel a little more appreciated every day. Along with that, we want to create a forum or chat space. We want you to find people similar to you. So for example, let's say you're studying medicine, you can find medical students. Or if you're a software developer, you can find other software developers that'll help you share your achievements with them, and the forum will also help you talk about your troubles, ask for advice, and just feel a little more connected with the people similar to you.
Feeling uninspired? Download Admire.
Thank you so much. Do you have any questions?
Great pitch, guys. I really like the color coordination as well. I do have a quick question. Where, again, are the stats coming from? Like, I know you mentioned Mary Angelou and Lady Gaga. Is that from interviews? And then there was also an 82% statistic?
I'll go and answer that question. So as for the people that we were referencing directly, I do believe that especially Maya Angelou and Lady Gaga specifically did talk about them in interviews. And if you look it up online, you'll find them like go into depth about it. And we didn't really have time to go into depth about it, so we decided to keep it brief for that. As for statistics, again, I don't have the exact article memorized, but I do remember it was a PubMed article, and they did specify that a certain age range as well. But they did specifically state that around 82% of people that they specifically looked at felt imposter syndrome. And so, again, I think the sample size was just a general public in general, so that's, I think that's that.
Okay, thank you.
One of the things that I noticed with the accomplishments, did you consider some sort of ranking of them? You know, for example, making breakfast versus getting a raise, different things?
So we did consider a ranking in like almost a power system. Like you have like 1, 2, 3. My idea was 1 through 5. 5 would be like your most like amazing achievement, and 1 would be like an achievement that you might just did, like such as waking up in the morning. So we did consider it. We did not implement it, but we did consider that we should have a ranking system in for our profile and our page.
Why did you not go with that then?
So the main idea behind this was that we wanted to make any achievement feel like the same way. We didn't want like someone to feel like, oh, like the main goal of our app was to counter imposter syndrome. So like I feel like if we weighed like different achievements together, that'll take away from your minor achievements. But we wanted to make sure that all achievements were equal, such as waking up early and maybe doing this, like doing a presentation in front of the crowd as well.
All right, I'm sorry, but that's all the time we have for questions. Thank you, Team Maya. And Team Right, you're on deck.
6 minutes document presenting time, and then it's 2 minutes.
Excuse me, everybody. Excuse me. If we could please maintain silence between team transitions, just so that we can keep the flow of presentation night going. Thank you very much. Take it away, Team Holinwell.
Bro, you're only lifting 5 pounds? Sorry, man, I'm trying my best here. Even my little brother can lift more than you.
Can you even bench 50?
What's bench?
Have you been overwhelmed by fitness stats, weights, reps, calories, and sets? Overthinking about this type of information can lead to stress, anxiety, and a lack of motivation. We're here to solve that issue. Introducing Holinwell. Holinwell is a wellness app that keeps track of your goals and accomplishments. We're focused on self-reflection and aim to encourage our users to focus on consistency rather than metrics. We'll now introduce our full stack team.
Hi, I'm Ashna.
Hi, I'm Sherwin. Hi, I'm Vishnu.
I'm Sahid.
So most of the health and wellness apps in the industry right now solely rely on metrics, which can be extremely confusing for the users. Our goal is to create a health and wellness app to promote a healthy lifestyle and to reach users' goals without the use of metrics, and by them putting their personal feelings into our app. We feel this would increase the user experience of the app, as the users are not prompted to input random information, but they're just prompted to input their true feelings about themselves and how they felt about their day. I'll pass it on to Ashna to go into demo.
Thank you, Sherwin. So right now I'm going to run through a quick demo of the app. So I just downloaded the app Holinwell. So first I have the option to either register and make an account, or I can simply log in. So I already have an account, so right now I'm just entering the username and password and I'm going to log in. So I just got authenticated. So on the home screen, at the top I see a wellness score, which is a percentage that is based off of the percentage of goals that I've actually completed. I can also see my current goals. To update the goals, I'm going to head off to the goals page where I can add long-term goals as well as short-term goals. I can also check off the goals that I've completed, delete goals, and I can search through my existing goals as well. So now I'm going to head over back to the daily goals section of this page, and I'm going to check off the goals that I've completed for today. So right now, my progress is going to be reflected on the homepage of my app. And now my wellness score is at 50%, and I can see my updated goals as well. So now I'm going to head on over to the workout section of the app. So on the workout section of the app, I'm able to add a new journal entry. So right now, I'm going to go to the journal section. I'm going to create a new journal entry. I can save it immediately, and I can also delete it, and all the changes will be reflected on the workout section of the app. So now we're going to start a special section of the app that we like to call workout mode. So first, you're prompted to indicate how you feel at the beginning of your workout. During the workout, you also see a randomly generated quote from an API that is meant to provide the user with positive reinforcement during the workout. And then finally, at the end of your workout, you will indicate how you're feeling after your workout. Now we're going to head on over to the profile page. So on the profile page under view history, there's a chart that shows you a comparison of how you were feeling before versus after your workout. The profile page also provides you with mental health resources and also gives the user the option to log out once they're done. Now I'm going to pass it back to Vishnu to talk about the tech stack.
Thank you, Ashna. So for our tech stack, we use Flutter, Dart, Hive, Firebase, and also Rapid API. Flutter is a front-end framework, and Dart is a programming language which we used in Flutter. We used Hive, which is a NoSQL database that helped us to store our data locally, and Firebase was for our user authentication, and also we stored a real-time database on Firebase. We also got our motivational quotes from the Rapid API.
So a major roadblock was with integrating the API. So because of the lack of user-friendly and accessible documentation, we had difficulty with converting the JSON data into Dart. Another big issue was the method that we were using, so we fixed this by using the post method instead of the get method. So now Vishnu is going to go over the rest of the roadblocks.
So we also had build issues, and we solved this by troubleshooting for network configurations and also debugging our plugins. We also had issues retrieving our data, and we solved that by finding a specific order at which we wanted our data to be received. Now, so he's going to go over our competitors.
Thank you, Vishnu. So some of our competitors include Nike, MyFitnessPal, and Noon. Like the other apps in our industry, we keep track of your goals and encourage you to strive for more. However, at Holinwell, we believe that you're more than just your numbers. We're a completely free app, unlike Noon, and we keep track of goals aside that are more based on consistency rather than hard set goals. Like Nike and MyFitnessPal, they all have goals that are completely hard and set on metrics, such as running 2 miles or consuming no more than 1,500 calories. I'll now hand it back to Sharon to talk about our future developments.
Thank you, Sadi. In the future, we'd like to implement a social media aspect to the app where users can add friends and add their family, and they can view if they've completed their daily goals, if they've completed a daily workout, and other information. Additionally, we'd like to connect with system health apps such as the Apple Health app, where we can export data such as the amount of steps they've taken that day, and if they've completed it, and the amount of sleep they got, which we can consider into the overall wellness score that we call. And finally, we'd like to create an AI that analyzes the wellness score over a period of time and gives the user appropriate feedback and encouraging quotes and thoughts based on the analysis that I just conducted. And that's it from Holinwell. Thank you.
And remember to take the anxiety out of wellness.
All right, we'll go ahead and start the judge questions.
Did Dart give you cross-platform then? Was that one of the reasons you picked that? And then Flutter? Okay. Yeah, because that's kind of an interesting environment. Have you actually been using this app? I'm curious. Okay. Did you actually put in the data and so forth?
Yeah, so you're able to input in your daily goals or long-term goals, and you can see a wellness score based off of that. Okay. So yeah, we personally haven't been using the app, but
okay, yeah, because there is an interesting competitive aspect to it. Okay, good.
So, I know that you mentioned adding kind of like that social connection aspect afterward in the future. Is it basically anytime you complete a goal, everyone within your social community can see that completion, or is it private, or is it you share what you want to share?
I think the idea that we had is that you share what you want to share, and what you would be sharing would mostly be your wellness score. which is based off of goal completion. Although like other people might not be able to share specific goals because we do want to keep that data private to the user, they would be able to share their wellness score if they chose to.
All right, if there are no more questions, thank you, Team Holinwell. Now we will get started with Right, and remember me, you're on deck. All right, take it away, Team Right.
Oh no, I'm having so much trouble getting started on my story.
No, Mom, what's wrong?
Everything out there is either really inconvenient to use, spread across a bunch of different tabs, or even worse, paid to use.
That's horrible. Have you ever heard of Right?
No, what's right?
I am so glad you asked. Hi everyone, I'm Kaylee Scanlon and I'm a backend developer for Right.
Hi, I'm Susan Singh and I'm a front-end developer for Right.
Hi, I'm Karina Batra. I was also a backend developer for Right.
Hi, I'm Corbin Schultz. I'm a full stack developer for Right.
And Sandra Hardy was our project manager. So our app is a website for writers. There are three main tabs of our website are editable and simple worksheets, which can be either pre-made questionnaires or just totally blank for your writing needs. A grammar checker, which is based off of the GrammarBot API. And a writing tips page, which is essentially a newsfeed full of hyperlinks to other web tools that might aid you in writing. It's designed to help answer any questions that our website might not answer about the writing process. And Karina is going to give us a demonstration of our app.
So, let's say you're a creative writer interested in finding that one-stop shop for your creative writing needs. You would first create an account with Right and then automatically be logged into our system. After that, you can create a new project. Now you're ready to start writing. You can select from our selection of writing planning worksheets that range from the simple blank sheet to the more structured 8-point story arc. So let's go ahead and select blank sheet and write a story. I think we all have the same story idea. Francis and Anushka's adventure through ACM. Wait, were you guys not thinking that? Anyways, it goes something like this. One day, Francis and Anushka decided to join ACM Projects. From then on, it was their destiny. They climbed the ranks and eventually became known as the best directors of ACM Projects. The end. Now that you're done writing your story, you can save it to a project where it will stay until you're ready to come back to it. In the meanwhile, you can also visit our grammar checker to catch those pesky grammar errors and reach the perfection that Anushka and Francis deserve. Alongside our grammar checker, you can also visit our writing tips page to learn more about how to improve your story stylistically. That's the writing tips page right there. Now on to Susan to talk about our tech stack.
In order to create our beautiful web app, we use React.js for all of our UI. We were able to connect front-end and back-end via API calls written in Node.js. We use MongoDB for our databases to store user information alongside their sheets and projects. Finally, we use GrammarBot's API for our spelling and grammar checker tab. Next, on to our competitors. What makes Right truly unique is that it's tailored specifically for creative writers. It pinpoints and packages the key features of household writing programs, such as Google Docs and Word, and puts it in a creative writing context. Moreover, Right also provides a grammar checker and also non-grammatical spelling tips so that the writer can focus on improving their creative writing skills, which some grammar checkers such as Grammarly do not have. Finally, those sites like EA DevRel do focus on creative writers. They do not have the breadth of functionality as Right does, which allows the user to choose, edit, and save their worksheets into projects as opposed to having to physically print them out and write on them. Right streamlines the creative writing process to be as efficient as it can possibly be so that the user can focus on the most important task at hand, creating a beautiful story that they can be proud of. Now on to Corbin for roadblocks.
Alright, so one of the issues that we encountered early on our front end was UI consistency, which stemmed from the fact that the front end developers were working with two slightly different versions of the code base. So in our initial merges, when we went to combine everything, we couldn't do that automatically with GitHub since the structure was a little bit different. So to resolve that, we just manually refactored everything in a uniform version, which is great because we do that going forward.
And then on our back end, it wasn't really like an issue that we encountered, but it was more of like an organizational thing, so we had to figure out how to efficiently structure our project to the best of our ability. Which none of us had too much prior experience with API development. So we broke it apart piece by piece. And one of the first things that we did was create a post request to add sheets to the database, which is great, but the sheets have to belong to a project. So instead of completely restructuring our API, we simply just implemented a patch request. So it would be called after the post request to push the sheet to an existing project, which ended up working, which is great. And we were able to come up with a working app, actually then our next talking point, which is how can we further improve our app, which we definitely like to implement more social features. That way writers can communicate with each other and build off of each other's ideas. We'd also like to offer a greater variety of sheets. That way writers have as many resources as possible to create the best stories possible. And lastly, we'd like to offer more options for users to import and export various file types with ease instead of relying on external websites to do that for them. That way it just gives them another reason to use Right instead of our competitors. And now on to Karina with our conclusion.
The keyboard is mightier than the sword, right?
Right.
All right, we'll go ahead and begin with judge questions.
Hey guys, so when you were talking about the tech stack, I understood why some of those were used before, but did you do any comparisons with maybe like other contenders? For example, like maybe why MongoDB versus another NoSQL database?
In terms of, I think, like you mentioned, competitors for, like, or what we considered before, we were initially thinking about using, like, Flutter and Dart, but I think we realized that that was, I think, more intended for, like, the mobile application, and then we were like, you know, in terms of web applications, I think the MERN stack is definitely very used in industry, and I think it was a good learning experience for us all. And I think compared to, like, Angular, which is a lot more, like, heavy, and it kind of is not as, I mean, it's definitely used in enterprise, but it does have a lot, like a bigger learning curve. And then I think Vue is very like uncommon in industry, so it's not as like useful. And if we spend time learning that, it wouldn't be as helpful to us. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it's good that you put thought into it. Thank you.
Yeah, so how much of this do you have implemented? All of the various features like the story arc, the 8-point story arc, and the various character building and so forth out there? Very cool. Yeah, this is, does it do things like consistency check or any of that kind of stuff, or no, didn't get that far?
I think we didn't get that far, but I think that's a great suggestion for our future plans. So
Yeah.
okay.
I've seen a couple of these kinds of apps, and well, they're all over the map, let's say. But yeah, okay, very good, thank you.
All right, thank you, judges. That's all the time we have for questions. Now please welcome Team Remember Me and iPlan, you're on deck. All right, take it away, Team Remember Me. Audience, if you can please quiet down for the team, that would be great.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Remember Me, your solution to remembering who was that person. My name is Laya, and I worked on front end.
My name is Safa, and I also worked on the front end. I'm Kara, and I worked on the front end as well.
And I'm Sam, and I work on the front end and the back end.
Now, have you guys met someone at a networking event or even at a class and realized that by the next day you forgot their name? Well, our app Remember Me is a solution to that problem. All you have to do to use the app is once you meet a person, you can add a card with their name or any other information about them that you want to remember. Once you have your card, you can add that to a deck, which you can organize however you want and categorize it with whatever event you met them at or anything like that. Once you have your cards in deck, you can play a memory game, which is just a fun way for you to remember who you've met. Then you can view your progress on our stats page. Now, time for a little demo on how to actually use our app.
Now imagine you met someone new at a fun social event.
Man, that was a really intense World Cup game.
Definitely. Well, it was nice meeting you.
Wait, before you go, what was your name again?
It's Kara.
Oh, thank you. Anyways, see you later.
See you later.
Man, I should add her to remember me so I don't forget her name. All I have to do is click the plus button, add a new card, and add her information. I can add her to a deck. She's an UTD, so I'll add her to the UTD deck. Then I add what I want to remember her by. Met her at a World Cup party. And like that, she's been added to a deck. We can go to the UTD deck, and she's been added. But I really wish there was a simpler way to do this.
Now, imagine Kara already had the remember me.
Hey, can I scan your QR code?
Yeah, of course.
The one time it doesn't work. There we go. As you can see, it's already been filled out. It even has her picture, and I can still edit the card like I want to. Now, once you have all the cards you want and all the decks you want, you can play a memory game to help you remember them. This is a matching game. For example, what is Obama's last name? It's Obama. What school do I go to? I go to UT Dallas. And I'll fill out the rest of these. As you can see, I got 100% because I'm simply built different. But if I did, I can click play again and try again. But instead, we'll look at the stats page. Here you can see all your different stats, including your high score for the memory game. On the home page, you can also see a search button that will allow you to see all of your cards. You can also edit the information that you want to, including new prompts and new answers. Finally, we have the profile page. This is where you can edit your profile image as well as your QR code. You have full customizability over what you share with your QR code, and you're able to see your QR code on this page as well. And of course, on this page, you can sign out. Now, that concludes our demo.
Alright, now that you have an idea of how our app works, let's take a look at what we use to make it. For our front end, we decided to use Flutter because of its cross-platform compatibility, as the same code can run on iOS and Android. For our back end, we chose to use Firebase because it's easy to use for authentication and for keeping track of data. Now, we certainly ran into some challenges along the way. None of us knew how to use Firebase or Flutter at the start, so we made little progress. To overcome this challenge, we met frequently and found many online resources. And once we became more acquainted with our tech stack, it became easier to deal with interactions between the front end and the back end. Another challenge that we faced was dealing with data changes between pages. The way that we synchronized data changes was popping data to the previous page and then allowing changes to be seen on the current page. Finally, we initially had trouble figuring out a design of the memory game that would be easy for the user to understand. To overcome this, we played with different designs using Figma and determined how to implement this using Flutter. We initially planned on having several kinds of games, but found that only having one would be feasible. Now on to Safa for future goals.
Although we have a functional app, there's definitely some more features we'd like to add to improve the user experience. One of these features would be a personal feed that would be built for you. This would display the people that the user has met in order of how well they know them. The people that the user got wrong while playing the memory game would show up on the top, reminding the user to review them. Another feature we would like to implement is a quiz-style game. This would showcase questions along with the drop-down list to select the answer. Last but not least, we'd like to implement a point system similar to SnapScore. So the more people that you meet or add, the higher your score will become. This will be an incentive to go out and meet new people.
Now then, some of our competitors include the default contacts app that is on all of your phones, iOS or Android, but unlike that app, our app allows you to play memory games to help you remember the people you have added. Social media apps like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter allow you to see other people's information, but you can't add your own. You only see what they post. Finally, Quizlet has a very similar functionality to to our app, but by default, cards you add are public, and it's kind of weird to add someone to a Quizlet.
All right, a question from us to the audience. Raise your hand if you remember our names. I dare see any hands raised, so this app is for you. Remember to use Remember Me. And finally, we love this.
So, the amazing idea is, as you clearly said, we forget people's names all the time. I'm a visual person, so did you come across in like your brainstorming thought process of adding a visual component to the application, like a picture or a video to kind of help remember the?
I mean, we didn't think too much of it. Like, so we incorporated the ability to add a picture for someone in their card, and that was already kind of a technical hurdle. So we would like to add like other ways to remember a person other than just text. But for what we have done so far, we only have the ability to add a picture for someone's card.
Have you thought of the problem where you can't really like use your phone right after meeting someone? You like immediately forget. Is there like a feature to do like a quick add? Because sometimes you can't, you know, right after you meet them, go onto your phone.
I mean, we designed it so that, like, on the front wall homepage, you can only 2 clicks add a new person, but we were more focused on, like, I mean, we haven't really thought about that too much because it's kind of hard to, because we're a mobile app, so we're going to assume that you have access to your phone, because if you don't, then you can't really do anything about it. But we did try to streamline it, so as soon as you open the app, you're right then easily able to add someone because it's on the homepage in like 2 clicks.
Oh, thank you.
All right, thank you, judges, and thank you, team Remember Me. Up next is iPlan and Shop and Share. You're on deck. All right, take it away, Team iPlan.
We are iPlan, an application that allows you to collaborate and plan an event with ease.
Events high and low, iPlan is the way to go.
My name is Shir Niker, and I worked on the back end.
My name is Matthew Shelton. I worked on the back end.
My name is Cassandra Marquez. I worked in the front end.
My name is Jennifer Zhang, and I worked on the front end. So on average, event planners charge 15 to 20% of an event's total budget. This means that hiring an event planner can cost anywhere between $400 for a party to over $6,000 for an elaborate wedding. Even without considering event planners, organizing an entire event, from budgeting to establishing tasks to booking venues, is time costly and difficult for an individual to keep track of. This is where iPlan comes in.
iPlan's objective is to allow users to budget, collaborate, and organize tasks for multiple events. Through iPlan, the necessary resources to prepare for an event are provided, so that a user does not feel the need to organize events through multiple platforms. iPlan's focus is to allow users to customize events based on their needs, making it available for any kind of event.
Now for the tech stack. On the front-end side, we used Flutter, which is a cross-platform SDK that allows us to create apps in both Android and iOS
using a single code base. It's based on the Dart programming language, which provides several built-in widget libraries that allows for expressive and flexible UI.
For the backend, we use Google's cloud storage and authentication service, Firebase. Firebase allows us to easily validate user sign-in information, provides the use of both collections and documents, which we use to store user and event information remotely.
Now let's go over the app's major features. The first major feature is the calendar. The calendar displays a list of tasks the user must complete prior to the event. The user has the ability to set a deadline and check off each task once they have finished. This is to help the user understand what tasks they must complete to stay on track.
Our second major feature is the budgeting tool, which allows users to easily plan out the necessary expenses for their event. The user is able to set aside portions of their event's total budget for categories such as food and entertainment, and within those categories create individual expenses.
Our third major feature is the ability to collaborate on an event. A user can add collaborators through a phone number or email from their contacts list, which sends a personalized message and gives editing access upon joining.
Now let's move into our live demonstration. We're going to start by creating a new user's account so we can look at what the pages look like when they're blank and not filled. So we're going to log in with Shirun's account. Anushka, is there an event we'd like to see for Shirun?
Sure. How about presentation night?
Presentation night. Is there a budget we'd like for that event?
No budget.
No budget, $0. Okay, so while Matthew is putting in the date and the time, you can see at the bottom, there's also an option to enter through a collaboration link, and we'll show you how to send that invite link later on in the presentation. So now that we have this event set up, let's take a look, and let's take a look at the calendar. We have the budget page, the itinerary, the collaboration, as well as the settings, and now we're going to log out and see and look at what an actually planned out event looks like when it's completely filled out. So we're going to log into this account, which has a wedding planned. So we're going to go to the calendar and then add a new task to complete for tomorrow. The task will be for lighting, and we can set a time for that task to be completed by as well. And when we have that task done, we have the time selected. It shows up under the list of tasks to complete. We can check it on and off. For the budget, we can also add the lighting as an expense. So we can go under the venue category, and we can put lighting as an expense in that category. And we can put that expense amount as $400. And once you add it, it'll show up in the list of expenses. We can also add a new category for this. The new category can be outfits, and we can allot a total amount of $4,000 for the outfits category. And once you have that in, it'll show up at the bottom, and it'll also show up at the top under the pie chart as well. For the itinerary, we can add maybe setting up the lighting as a time slot before the event actually starts, so maybe at 11 a.m. And so once we have that set up and done under the itinerary, it will show up under the timeline under event setup. Now for collaboration, we can search our contacts for a collaborator. We want to add Veda, our project manager, as a collaborator. So we will send her a text message to invite her, and she'll show up as invited under the list. And now we'll go to the settings and log out, and let's hand it off to Shirun for the competitors.
Now let's go over why you want to use iPlan as opposed to other planning applications. The first major reason is that iPlan incorporates all major aspects of planning into one place. This prevents the user from having to use multiple different applications to plan a single event. Secondly, iPlan is marketed towards both the organizer as well as the attendee, as the organizer has the ability to create an itinerary for the attendees to view prior to the event.
Now we'll talk about some challenges that we faced along the way. So for front end, a challenge we faced was creating an intuitive user flow which anyone could easily navigate, considering how a user can simultaneously be involved in multiple events. In response, we presented several wireframes to potential users and implemented the feedback we received.
We wanted users to be able to join from any device, so we needed a way to store user and event information remotely. As a result, we turned to the Firebase API to accomplish this, which had a steep learning curve.
Now let's go over features we plan on implementing in the future. The first major feature would be a group chat for collaborators to share ideas and information with everyone involved in the planning process. We believe this would not only streamline communication, but also reduce reliance on third-party messaging applications.
Another feature to implement is an online RSVP feature where a user can invite attendees to the event. A user can also send customized reminders and give view-only access to the itinerary.
And this is iPlan. We'd like to thank you, the audience, for your time. Are there any questions?
So like for reporting, so can you see see the budget so far. I think you had a pie chart up there to see how much you've spent out of your budget. Things like that. Okay.
Yes, it does. It does show how much you've spent, what's remaining, and you can even go into the individual categories and see what expenses are taking up how much of that budget.
And prioritizing tasks for your to-do list, is there, I didn't see that in there, but do you have it?
The to-do list is based off of the calendar order and not necessarily a priority order.
Right.
We wanted it to be where the user could see what was due for that day specifically, so when they log in the app, it comes immediately to what's due for that day.
Okay.
And to add on to that, we don't have a priority order, but it's also ordered in the time that it's done by. So it will be ordered from maybe 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the specific day.
Okay. Yeah, because I've seen systems where, for example, it's helpful to see something that's several days out and be able to complete it now, rather than, oh, okay, I've got to do this today. Doesn't keep, last minute. But yeah, a very good app, a very interesting idea. Thank you.
All right, if there are no more questions, thank you, Team iPlan. Up next is Shop and Share and MoodWaves. You are on deck. All right, Team Shop and Share, take it away.
Hey guys, I'm back. Did you get my baked beans?
Yeah, chocolate, and my nose for ice cream.
Oh god. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever realized you forgot something after getting the groceries? Have you ever forgot your best friend's Frosted Flakes? Have you ever wanted to shop easy and share easy? Then welcome to Shop and Share. Hi, my name is Shaz.
I'm B, and I'm Samika, and we are the front end team.
Hi, I'm Krish. I'm Arian. We worked on back end. We were led by our wonderful Pauline and Xavier. Why Shop and Share? Well, the biggest reason is to store all of your lists in one app. Rather than fumbling through the grocery store on your phone, Shop and Share allows you to store all of your grocery lists in one concise place. Then turn to the share part. Shop and Share allows you to keep track of your friends' dietary restrictions and allergies, as well as share lists with them, allowing for endless sharing capabilities. Lastly, Shop and Share creates notifications for expiration dates on not only your list, but also each individual item of a list, allowing you to have a seamless grocery shopping experience.
We surveyed over 100 people to collect information about their shopping habits and their preferences. From the data, 59% of the respondents said that they use Notes app, and 29% said that they use a paper list for noting down their groceries. In addition, over 70% of respondents said that they use messages as their primary method to share their shopping list with other people.
71% of survey respondents said that they had between 1 and 3 contributors on their grocery list, while another 5% said that they had more than 4. And when we asked them their Shop and Share's categorical features of store, brand, and expiration dates would be useful when listing grocery items, an overwhelming 85% majority said that they would.
Okay, so when we start the app, the first thing we'll see is the landing page. From there, we can either log in or sign up. So we're gonna go ahead and sign up. I'm gonna enter my information, and we're gonna create an account. From there, I'm gonna put in my dietary preference, and then I'm gonna go to the home page. On the home page, I can go to my friends tab, and I can add Melissa as a friend. From there, I can create a new list. I'm gonna give the list a title, and I'm gonna add Melissa as one of the users. Then, I'm gonna add items. Items can have things like store, quantity, etc. And you can give it an expiration date. From there, we can pin the list if we think it's important. Then we can create the list. You can click on the list if you need to make any changes. And if an item's about to expire, you can see you'll get a notification. Then we can go to the profile tab, and we can sign out, or we can change our profile.
So how did we do this? Our front end was developed using React Native, which is a cross-platform development framework to allow our app to run on both Android and iOS devices. Our backend was built using JavaScript, and we use Google Firebase to enable user authentication, Cloud Firestore to store user data, including shopping and friends lists, as well as any other dietary restrictions, and React local push notifications to remind users of their incoming expiration dates.
Our team was first challenged with the readability of our code. Since we had 3 people working on front end, we had to communicate very often to make sure we were all writing in the same style and structure so that it was easily readable and understandable for everyone. then needed to actually design the pages. They gathered user feedback from different age groups, including high school students, college students, and adults, while drafting multiple sets of wireframes to help us form a simple and straightforward layout for our pages. We also set up user flow diagrams to ensure that we had easy to follow navigation. Moving forward, however, we had some issues integrating our front-end components with back-end.
In terms of backend challenges, one of the biggest features of our app is a user being able to edit the list of another user. Because of this, it was imperative that we designed a database that would meet these requirements of shared access among users. Adding on to the feature of editing lists, when integrating with frontend, we added issues accessing data the way different components were rendering. Because of that, we had to restructure the way these components were being called in the first place. Lastly, another minor issue we had was taking in user input, not only to a format that's readable for the user, but also understandable for our notifications library. After thoroughly going through documentation, we were able to solve that issue.
Shop and Share has a lot of new features that other apps just don't. For example, multi-user sharing is a feature that most apps support. However, we've added new things and additional features to make it better. For example, real-time sharing, which is where you can edit a new list in real time and it's going to update so you can make any changes last minute if you need to. Also, Shop and Share is the only app that supports dietary restrictions and expiration notifications. So your app will have all of your dietary preferences updated to every person you share it to, and you'll get notifications when an item's about to expire.
Moving on to the next steps that we want to take, our team has compiled a list of our future or stretch goals. This includes creating a pantry that updates users' grocery inventory, dark mode, a scanner feature that scans and saves receipts as well as the expiration dates of grocery items, a shopping cart that is automatically generated based on a user's frequently purchased items, and a leaderboard/point system with friends. As for our monetization plan, we have decided on a 3-tiered subscription model. This includes the free/basic tier that has Shop and Share's signature shareable lists and expiration date reminders, as well as additional features in the Pro and Premium tiers. With Shop and Share, you can instantly share your grocery list with friends and family to let them know what you need. Any edits made to a list will also be updated for everyone added to that list in real time. You'll also never forget your friend's dietary restrictions since our app tracks all of that for you. It'll also notify you when an item in your pantry or refrigerator has expired. More importantly, Shop and Share helps you
Shop easy and share easy.
So one of my observations on just my own shopping is that I tend to buy a lot of the same stuff over and over again. So do you have a way of just, say, reusing a list?
So whenever we were creating our future goals, we decided that we wanted to implement this thing called a shopping cart. So the shopping cart would have the same grocery items that you buy again and again, and it would be automatically created based on the frequency of your purchases. So while we haven't done that already, that is definitely in our future goals.
All right, if there are no more judge questions, thank you, Team Shop and Share. Up next is Team MoodWaves, and Muse Up, you're on deck.
Have you ever had a down day and needed someone to talk to? Well, we have, and that's why we created MoodWaves, your own personal therapist at your fingertips. And I'm Nivek Koya, and I worked on the back end.
I'm Vimal Sebastian, I worked on the back end.
I'm Anjana Bharadwaj, and I worked on the front end.
I'm Artiman Dubey, and I worked on the front end, and now Anjana's going to explain why we built this app.
Journaling is an integral aspect of reducing anxiety, regulating your emotions, and it can even help you speed up physical healing. In fact, college students who journal about stressful events and their emotional reactions to them got sick fewer times than their peers who didn't do something like that. Now, journaling also goes hand in hand with understanding your emotions. Understanding your emotions and mood can help you make better decisions, navigate lifestyle choices more easily, and it can even help you avoid triggers to your negative emotions. Now, obviously these things go hand in hand, and that's why we combine them to create MoodWaves. I'm going to pass it on to Naved to take you through our demo.
So this is the homepage of the app, and when I click create entry, it will take me to the journal page, where I can add a title and create my entry right on the app. In this case, I talked about how I was really worried and scared about my sickness. And when I click generate analysis, it goes to the analysis page and gives me a mood. In this case, it was fearful, and also gave me a list of articles on how to deal with my fear. After I scrolled through the list of articles, I found one that was interesting. I clicked on it, and we went through the app, we went to the web page. And after I was done with the article, I went back to the MoodWaves app and saved it to my saved articles page to view at a later time. I was also given the option to rate my day, and I rated my day at 5 this time. Next, I went to the calendar page to view all my moods I've ever had. Where purple means fearful, red means angry, blue means sad, yellow means happy, and green means disgust. Next, I went to the journal page to create a new entry this time, where this time I wanted to talk about how I feel lonely and sad sometimes. It gives me the option to either type my entry in the app, or I can paste it from somewhere else. In this case, I pasted it from somewhere else and clicked generate analysis. This time I got a different mood, sadness. And I also got a list of articles on how to deal with sadness. I did not have time to view the article right then and there, so this time I just saved the article to view on my profile page at a later time. This time I rated my day a 3 out of 10. Next, I wanted to see all my ratings I've ever had in the app, so I went to the stats page in my app. And it gave me a list of bar graphs on all my ratings I've ever had in the app. And when I got to November, I saw my 2 ratings I created were added in there as well. Next, I wanted to see all my saved articles I've had in the app. So I went to the saved articles page to view all my saved articles. Next, I'm going to pass it on to my mom to talk about the tech stack.
Starting with the tech stack, with the front end, we decided to use React Native because it allows swift and reliable productions of iOS and Android mobile applications. And we decided to use Node.js as the backend runtime environment because it allows us to seamlessly connect to our 2 APIs that we use. The first being the Scraping Bee search API that actually recommends to users the list of articles based on the mood that they're feeling for the day, as well as the emotion analysis API that actually analyzes their journal entry and then returns them the specific emotion or mood they're feeling for that day. And these connect to the database that we're using, which in this case is Firebase, as it allows swift sync data with the client side. And we also encountered several obstacles along the way that we wanted to point out. First being challenges with responsive UI states as well as React Native ghosts, which took a lot of refactoring and reorganizing our code to actually resolve those errors. We also encountered some errors with slow API fetching speeds, which is sort of inevitable under a limited budget. However, we opted for APIs that optimize their best performance at the lowest cost. And we also encountered a few errors with database connections, and we basically configured our communication between Firebase and the front end to resolve those type of errors. And when building this app, we also took into consideration how we would fare in respect to the other competitors on the market, which Armin will now talk about.
So as Vimal just stated, we are going to be facing a number of competitors. Firstly, we have Moodly, which is an app that allows the user to create their own journal entries and take notes. Next, we have MoodPanda, which is another app that allows the user to create their own journal entries and identifies trends in the user's mood. And finally, we have MoodKit, which allows the user to create their own journal entries, analyzes the user's mood to suggest them tips, and identifies trends in the user's mood. However, MoodKit is not tailored to a wide variety of emotions like MoodWaves is. So, despite having all these advantages over our competitors, we've identified a couple ways that we want to improve upon our app in the future. In the short term, we want to develop MoodWave for Android and create a web app to increase the amount of users we have. And we want to add new features such as follow-up questions, the ability for the user to upload journal entries from other applications, and a grammar check system. And in the long term, we want to work with psychologists and doctors to suggest tips to the user that are backed by research. And we want to add games for the user to play that will help them address their mood, such as meditation games to ease the user's stress, or positive affirmation games to improve the user's mood.
Thank you for your time, and
we invite you to turn your woes away with MoodWave.
And if y'all have any questions?
So I saw in there, and you also mentioned this, you can access a wide variety of moods. can you put multiple moods in for the day? Or is it just after that one journal entry, one mood for the day?
So currently, you can have multiple moods in one day, but what will be displayed on our calendar page is just the most recent mood you had. So in our example, since our most recent mood was sad, in the calendar page, sadness would be shown.
If you have a neutral mood entry, is that going to pick it up, show articles, or are there specific words that it's looking for?
Yeah, it's what you said, the latter. The API looks for specific keywords in the journal entry and assigns a particular numerical weight on those keywords, and then categorizes them in one of the 6 emotions that the API has, and displays the one that is the most prevalent in that journal entry.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you judges for the questions, and thank you Team MoodWave. Up next is Team News Up, and My Muse, you're on deck.
Oh my, needed that. Time to check my feed. Okay. Oh my gosh, my neighbor's house burned down for the 2nd time this week.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
They look different online.
With News Up, I found out about my local shelter that some kittens got rescued.
That makes my day.
I know.
With News Up, our goal is to provide our users with positive headlines to help brighten their day and their outlook on the world. And if you don't want to take my word for it, take a word from one of the world's renowned doctors, Dr. Phil. A positive article a day keeps the doctor away.
So introducing the News Up team, my name is Nathan Hilbert, and I was a full stack developer.
My name is Aziz Frage, and I'm a backend developer.
My name is Ahmad Babel, and I was a front-end developer.
My name is Ikram Rahman, and I was also a front-end developer. So why is it that the only headlines we see around us are those that are terribly demoralizing and incredibly fear-mongering? A skewed representation of the world around us. Enter NewsUp, a web application that seeks, curates, and presents to you, the users, the most optimistic and encouraging news articles that are out there.
We do this by gathering thousands of articles from around reliable sources from the internet and analyzing them for positive sentiment. Once we find these positive articles, we then push them to our front end and present them to the user in a sleek and modern fashion.
So this is what makes News Up possible. We use a multitude of technologies to bring our end users beautiful and positive articles. First of all, we use MongoDB for our database, which stores our article data and is free and easy to use at our scale. We use Node.js and Express.js for our backend, which handles our APIs. And we use React.js for our frontend, which is a very popular web framework that has a ton of resources. So first of all, some of the key front-end features, we have our landing page, which has a little bit about the project, the ability to see some of the source code, and that'll take you to our feed, which, as you can see, shows our top trending positive articles for that day. And at the top, you'll notice you can see articles by category. So that's anything from sports, health, kindness, you name it.
This is the cycle of our backend. It all starts with our NewsUp API that's going to collect articles from around the web. And then that gets passed on to our sentiment analysis API, which configures the overall sentiment of the article. It's either positive or negative. If it is positive, it's going to be passed on to our backend, which is then streamlined to the user's feed. This cycle is repeated daily so we can continuously provide fresh articles for our users.
Now you've heard about the features, let's see it live. As you can see, as soon as you land on NewsUp, you get to our main page with our beautiful logo, and as soon as you hover over it, you can see the fun has just begun. As we move down, you can see a little bit more about how NewsUp works, kind of the why behind NewsUp, the purpose behind building it, and some instructions on how to use the actual website. Once you got all that information, we go to the main feed page. This is where we have a bunch of our articles that we feel are really important for the user from a variety of categories, whether it be sports, technology, health, you name it. And say I'm really interested in looking at the World Cup highlights. Let's go over to sports. And let's see the US's latest triumphs. And now if I want to get more in-depth analysis, I can tap on the article and go to the main source from where it's actually from and get a more in-depth analysis of whatever I want to see. That's enough for the demo. Let's move on to Ikram with competitors.
Yes, so first up we have MoodWaves, which is an altogether fantastic app. However, it does come with a $4.99 a month subscription. Now, I don't know about you, but Amon, does that sound affordable?
You see these pockets, bro?
Well, I empathize. Next up, we have Lapis News, which is also fantastic, meets every metric. However, its one flaw is that it lacks concrete organization, leaving you frustrated, unable to find the specific types of news articles you're looking for. Lastly, we have the Good News Network, which, like its name suggests, is good, not great. And that is because it has just as many advertisements as articles. Now, I'm sure you weren't looking for a timeshare in Hawaii, were you, Aziz?
No, man, not at all.
Well, that's understandable. And that's why NewsUp meets all the shortcomings of its competitors by being free, concrete, structurally, and being appless.
For our major challenges here, starting off with the back end, it was definitely the filtering of our news stories. This was because we found unwanted search results from the API. We fixed this simply by adding more key terms that were direct to what we actually wanted. This quickly fixed it. And then secondly, our challenge for the front end. We wanted to design the face and sculpt the face of our logo. This was the uplifting of humanity as a whole. To make sure we did this correctly, we spent numerous hours in Microsoft Paint, you guys. And this is the final product.
Special thanks to Kenneth and Yoon for making this project possible. And now that your day has been brightened, do you have any questions?
I would have called it rose-colored glasses, but that's my take. What kind of back-end newsfeed do you get that's free? How does that work?
So we use an API called News API that actually scrapes around 25,000 articles from the past month. And we take that and we streamline it into our, we use another API, Azure Analysis API, which after rating the sentiment, we find the positive articles and we store it on our database.
Okay. And this database is cloud or local?
It's cloud.
Is the site customizable? Like, let's say you want to see nothing but sports and puppies. Like, are you able to kind of make it that way?
That was actually a thing we wanted to expand upon. We wanted to make it so that you could have user authentication, and from there, maybe if someone really likes to see sports or pets, right, we can recommend them more articles that way. So.
All right, if there are no more questions, thank you, Team Muse Up. Up next is My Muse and Envoy. You're on deck.
Who here loves music? Me! Who here is always searching for new music to listen to? Me! Who here is curious about the music your friends are listening to? Yeah! Well, My Muse has a solution for that. But before we dive deeper into the app, let's meet the musicians that created it.
I'm Iman and I worked on backend.
I'm Deepta and I worked on backend.
I'm Hamza and I also worked on backend.
I'm Monasi and I worked on frontend.
And I'm Max, and I also worked on front end. For most, music is a base necessity in one's life, and it's everywhere, whether that be in the car, in the club, or even studying for an exam. Music has always been a way to connect and identify with one another. Now, with social media being so prevalent nowadays, we've designed a social media app that can display music with your friends at any moment in the day. Our app, My Muse, can show you what your friends are listening to, let you like and comment on their posts, and resets every 24 hours so you can do it all over again. Now, before you find your next music My Muse, I'll pass it over to Hamza for the live demonstration of the app.
Thank you, Max. I like to think that I have great taste in music, but at the same time, I am pretty curious about what my friends are listening to. So let's find out with My Muse. I'm going to start off by signing in, using my username, password, and I'm pressing the login button. So let's let that load. Once that loads, we're now on the home feed. So the home feed is where we get to see what your friends are listening to. So scrolling through the list, I can see what my teammates have been using. So I can see what Deepta, Max, Monasi, and Iman have been listening to. But more than that, I'm a bit more curious as to what my project managers have been listening to, Faisal. So let's add her as a friend. I'm going to go to search, type in her name, and hit enter. Once the search loads, I can look for account, tap on it, and her user profile opens. I can tap the follow button, and now I'm following her. Let's go back to the feed. Once we go back to the feed, her muse should be there at the top. So looking at it, Taylor Swift, that's really unique. You can leave a like on her post as well. And based off these muses, I think my teammates definitely need some new music. So I'm going to post some music of my own. Let's go click the post button. And I'm going to look for Starboy. Hit enter. All the songs from the album show up. So going to the list, you can pick which song you want to muse. I'm going to go with I Feel It Coming. So I can tap on the song and also add a caption to it. And then once the caption is ready, we can post the muse, and now it's on our feed. And another interesting feature is you can also play a snippet of the song so you and your friends can enjoy a sample of it. So let's play. But yeah, we also have a user profile page. So with the user icon, we can find basic information about your account, like your followers, followings, and your news from that day. And with that, I'm going to log out and pass up to Deepta for the tech stack.
Thanks, Hamza. So for our tech stack, we use Flutter as our framework and Dart as our programming language. We also use Firebase as our database to store our users' information, along with Apple's iTunes as our music API. As for roadblocks, one roadblock we faced was with our tech stack. We originally planned on using React Native and JavaScript, but switched over to our current tech stack 4 weeks into our project timeline due to difficulties during environment setup, which significantly reduced the amount of time we had to work on the app itself. Another roadblock we faced was with our music API compatibility. A lot of music APIs took in more common programming languages like Python and Node.js, so finding proper Flutter documentation to implement a music API into our Flutter application was another roadblock we faced. Now I'll pass it on to Iman to talk about our last 2 roadblocks.
Thanks, Deepta. One roadblock our front-end team faced was mapping out the user flow of our app. Our original navbar was crowded with many icons, some of which were redundant and caused our app to look more complicated than need be. By simplifying our navbar down to 3 icons, we ensured that user flow was intuitive, easily viewable, and clickable throughout the app, so that we didn't have to sacrifice experience or simplicity. As for backend, another roadblock that we faced was setting up and organizing the database schema or structure of our app, as well as database connectivity issues. After gaining a more thorough understanding of Cloud Firestore as well as its syntax, we were able to successfully send and retrieve all the data that we needed in order for our app to function correctly. Now I'll pass it off to Moni to talk about some of our competitors.
Thanks, Mon. So now that we've got to meet My Muse, I apologize. Now that we've seen what My Muse has to offer, let's meet our competitors, Spotify, BeReal, and Instagram. The first feature we'll test is being able to interact with music uploads. As you can see, we already have a not-so-great success rate. Only Instagram and My Muse are able to do this. Next feature is being able to view a music feed. Again, only Spotify and My Muse have this. The only feature that we have 100% success rate on across all 3 apps is being able to add and find friends. As you can see, My Muse is the only app that has all 3 of these key features. Now on to future developments. Our app has already met expectations, but how can we make it greater?
First up, monthly song of the day list, so that you can see your past month of listening summarized. Next up, a mood-based song recommendation. Sometimes your mood chooses your music, and we want My Muse to be able to do that for you. I'll pass it on over to Max to talk about what else is in store for My Muse.
Thanks, Monty. We have 2 more features that we plan to implement. One of them being we are able to send song recommendations directly to your friends. For example, if you really enjoyed the song that Hamza used earlier, you could send that directly to your friend. And the final feature that we plan to implement is a feature where you are generated a monthly song color based on the songs you've used in the previous month. For example, if I've used generally sadder music the past month, my color will be blue. Now I'll pass it off to Hamza for some closing words.
Thank you, Max, and thank you everyone for learning about our app. We really hope you all can find your next muse with My Muse. And with that, we can open the floor to some questions.
So you mentioned that Flutter had API compatibility issues with the music APIs. Is there a reason why then you chose Flutter Dart?
Sure, so when we were first researching our APIs, we looked at other things like Spotify, Deezer, Shazam, whatever we could possibly integrate into our Flutter application. But again, a lot of them took in more common languages and they were easily used with more common languages. So we chose Apple iTunes because it was more compatible with Flutter. So it's a lot easier. And with our timeline, also we had a short timeline. So being able to integrate Apple iTunes with our Flutter application made it easier for us to pick that over the other ones because of compatibility.
So it was choosing Apple iTunes versus like instead of other music APIs.
Yeah.
So basically the decision of Flutter Dart came first. Is that correct? It wasn't like a cohesive, like.
Yeah, so we started with planning our framework and our language, which we initially planned React Native and JavaScript, and we chose Flutter and Dart because it was more like flexible for web or mobile applications. So then from there we trying to find music APIs that were compatible with that language and the framework.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that is all the time we have for questions. Thank you to My Muse. Last but not least, we have Team Envoy.
You're up late, scouring the internet, trying to solve that problem on your stats homework. Or maybe it's physics. Maybe you're completely lost in criminology or biology or some other ology. Maybe you need a better understanding of React states for ACM projects, or you're trying to learn a new skill for your internships or job. These things are hard enough to make sense of as it is. That's why we made Envoy, a fully featured video translation website to help you learn anything, from physics to criminology to how to do a kickflip in your native language. In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, none of us are strangers to online learning, and it shouldn't be any harder than it has to be. My name is Harper Wood.
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Aditya.
And I'm Juan. Now let's talk about the tech behind Envoy. For Envoy, we're utilizing the Merge stack, which consists of MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js. This allows us to quickly and efficiently serve our web pages to our users. For the backend, we're using a mixture of Python and AWS in order to utilize powerful libraries and cloud services in order to edit and add subtitles to our video. Now that you know about the tech behind Envoy, let's talk about Envoy itself. In order to give educational videos to users all across the world, Envoy features the ability to translate videos in up to 18 different languages and apply subtitles to them. The best part, all you have to do is upload a video and select your language, and bam, Envoy handles the rest.
As awesome as that is, a lot of other websites do that too. So what sets us apart? Well, that would be our speech synthesis, a perfectly timed text-to-speech that goes over the video when it's translated.
This makes it so that audio only plays when the speaker in the video is speaking, making for a more natural viewing experience.
And finally, since Envoy was made for people who speak different languages, it was important to take into consideration the language of the website itself. Envoy will auto-translate into whichever language you prefer so that you can worry less about navigating the website and more about learning. So, how does it work? When the user uploads a video to our website, the video is stored in Amazon S3. It then goes through Amazon Transcribe, which generates a subtitle file in English, Amazon Translate, which generates a subtitle file in the target language, and Amazon Poly, which generates translated speech. Finally, the video and the speech files are sent through our Envoy algorithm, which secures the perfect timing that makes Envoy so special. And finally, the video is stored in Amazon S3 and can be accessed by the user.
So let's take a look at Envoy. When you first open up our website, you'll see our mission statement along with a few quick overview of our features. In the top right here, you'll see the login and sign up options. And to sign up, all you have to do is enter your name, email, password, and select the language, your native language. Envoy wouldn't be useful if your native language wasn't English. So whenever you log in, the entire site is translated into whatever your native language or selected language was. Moving over to the library page, you can see a history of all of your past uploaded videos, along with the option to categorize them into different folders. So let's say you actually want to upload and translate the video. All you have to do is enter a title, select the language that you want to translate it into, upload the video, and then let Envoy work its magic translating the video.
I'm actually learning Icelandic right now. Could you translate a video into that?
Absolutely. You can translate videos as many times as you like. So here, you can see, again, another video that we uploaded, 100 seconds of React. So let's upload that video into Icelandic. So here we're gonna enter a title, and then select the language Icelandic, and upload our video file. Let's say we're gonna do a TikTok. So moving back over to our library page, you'll see another video card with, again, a fully translated video into whatever native language or language that you select, allowing you to learn whatever concept you like.
Ekkert jafnvel lítilega rannsakað yfirleitt. Ég hef nákvæmlega ekkert að segja neitt og enn með mínum hætti að tala mun ég láta það virðast eins og ég geri. Eins og það sem ég að segja ljómandi og kannski mun þér líða eins og þú hafi.
So moving into roadblocks, one of the big challenges we faced right off the bat was an overall lack of technical comprehension. How we got over this was watching and reading a lot of different tutorials, as well as creating some mini programs such as a to-do app, as well as different mini websites. But another creative solution that we found was to thorough documentation. So what we did was we actually created a GitHub wiki, which no other ACM projects team has done in the past. And so each of our members went through and described each file and component in detail, which helped us get a better understanding of the project overall.
If you've ever watched a movie dubbed in a different language, you might have noticed that when the actor stops talking, the voiceover still continues. That's because the length of a sentence in English varies across different languages. And unlike the original speaker, Amazon Poly synthesizes speech at a constant rate. So how do we overcome these issues in syncing audio? That's where the Envoy algorithm comes in. Instead of syncing the audio with the video, we actually sync the video with the audio. The way the algorithm works is that we generate the audio for a subtitle chunk, cut out the portion of the video corresponding to that subtitle chunk, and then speed up or slow down the video to match the length of the generated audio. This way, the audio is consistent and easy to understand, but the speaker's pace and silences are preserved, allowing us to overcome this roadblock. Now, what are the next steps for Envoy? There are some cool features we could have implemented if we had time, such as an interactive element which would reward users for watching and translating videos. We could have added more languages to translate from, and also leverage cloud computing for faster processing times. But the main point to take away is that Envoy is really, really scalable. Imagine using Envoy at school to translate lectures, or even at the workplace to translate a presentation. It truly makes the world more interconnected and allows knowledge to be shared regardless of language barriers. Thank you for listening to our presentation.
So how do you tell whether from watching the video, it seemed like it was pretty well synchronized. How do you tell how much you're supposed to speed up and slow down? How does the algorithm work? And how do you know when someone stopped speaking if they're still speaking?
Yeah, I can take that question. So when the video is passed into Amazon Transcribe, it actually generates a subtitle file. And what a subtitle file consists of is actually the exact timestamps down to the millisecond of what the person's saying. So we use those timestamps, convert them into seconds to get how long the speaker is actually speaking. So we know the section of that subtitle chunk. And then using that original time, and we pass the generated audio into Amazon Poly. So using the original time, we actually speed up or slow down using Python, as we said, powerful libraries, to get the perfectly synced audio.
Okay.
Have you tested with longer video lengths, such as like over an hour? Is the speed time for that, is that still
I'll take this question. So just the way that Envoy works, it currently with our current setup, because we're not really using a giant backend, we're currently using the AWS free server. It takes roughly 3 minutes to generate subtitles for a video, but it's more like a logarithmic curve. So the longer the video is, it's not gonna like increase that much. So say it's like an hour-long video, it's gonna take close to 9 minutes instead of going up exponentially. So we have tried longer videos, not like over an hour, but like we've done like several like 10, 20 minutes, and generally it still works.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, judges. That's all the time we have for questions. Thank you, Team Envoy. And with that, those are all the presentations we have for tonight. Judges, if you could just take a few moments to finalize the scores. And then once you're ready, please pass over your score sheets to me so we can find the final tally.
Tonight for attending presentation night, and remember that 5 member points makes an official ACM member, and it comes with a lot of perks. So if you're interested in joining ACM as well, please be sure to check in regardless. And for everyone that's in the audience, along with the people on the live stream, please scan the QR code on the right to vote for your favorite project. We will now be taking a short break to count up the votes, and then we'll be announcing first place, second place, and People's Choice Awards shortly. So I'll see you all in a bit. Thank you. We are aware that the straw poll is having an issue. We're working on fixing it, so just hang tight. We will let you know when it's fixed.
They made it probably required.
Oh, because of the I can't miss it.
It is now fixed, so go ahead, rescan that QR code.
Is it the same
Vote for your
software or
page.
is it?
It's still the same one.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Aditya, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while.
This is a hot mic right now. This mic is hot, yeah.
Oh wait, yeah. I personally put Envoy probably. What? Probably like past 5 months, probably single bucket. But in terms of like flashiness and things like
We have our winners, and we'll be getting started with the award ceremony real quick. Thank you. So first off, to begin with the awards, I want to mention that we do have a first place, second place winner, but the real value from this program is all the skills and the soft skills that you've built that you'll take forward to internships and forward to a career. So with that said, we do have first and second place awards. For first place, we have $20 Amazon gift cards for each team member, and then for second place, we have $15 Amazon gift cards for each team member. And we determined the first and second place award winners on the basis of 5 different categories. They are graphic design, visual presentation, collaboration, demo, and overall presentation effect. So with that said,
all right, y'all, can we build some anticipation? Remember me!
yes, come on up. Come on up.
Come on up for a photo. Congratulations, y'all.
Congratulations. And now, for our first place award winner of Projects Fall 2022, we have
Let's get formal.
Oh. Sorry.
congratulations, y'all.
Let's not forget about the People's Choice Awards. So can I get a drum roll? Congratulations once again, Team Envoy. Thank you. So, really hearty congratulations to all of our teams who placed today, and to all of our teams in general. I'm super proud of each and every single one of you. Coming coming from the interview round all the way up to tonight, Francis and I have seen y'all grow, and it is not easy to learn a new technological stack, make an idea your own, and foster that spirit of innovation within your teams. But each and every single one of you showed up and made your ideas your own. And I think that even if you didn't place tonight, you won in a lot of ways, and I'm super proud of you. So, can I please get a round of applause for all of our teams tonight?
And now we have some very special farewells to give out for our very dear officer base. Avni, Eric, Faiza, Pollock, Grace, Shagun, and Veda. You guys have been amazing people to work with, amazing friends to spend time with, and you guys are sincerely what makes projects. And you guys are what makes and helps me, do this. And yeah, it's been a pleasure getting to know all of y'all through this program, and I wish you all the best in everything you do afterwards.
Y'all have been an amazing team to work with. Y'all have been amazing friends, and the memories that we've spent together, whether that's on our officer meetings late at night or in our officer socials every build night, I'll cherish those memories very dearly. And I think each and every one of our PMs are like shining stars. They bring something so unique to the table, and they're so passionate about what they do. They inspire me every single day, and it's been an honor to work alongside you and really truly learn what it means to work in a great team. So thank you for that. Along with the PMs, as many of you may or may not know, both Francis and I are also stepping down from our director role after 1 year. And I just want to say a huge thank you to both ACM and ACM Projects for helping me grow in these past 2 years. I joined this program as a freshman when college was virtual, and I didn't know how to make friends. But when I found ACM Projects, that changed for me, and I found an amazing community that supported me and taught me how to be a true engineer. You know, I think that I'm very lucky in that I've met amazing people who taught me what it means to truly show up every day and do something that you're passionate about, and for that I thank ACM Projects, and everybody who has helped me throughout this way. So, yeah, I will. Thank you so much.
As Anishka said, this will be our last semester as co-directors, and I remember joining ACM Projects first as a participant, same semester as Anishka. It was COVID, very virtual, and I was just looking for something to involve myself with on campus, and I found it in projects, and I had so much fun just getting to know the people involved, and I learned so much just being near people who were like super motivated in their field and super interested, and I generally can say that I wouldn't be half the developer I am without all the friends and all the mentors that have helped me along the way. So big thank you to ACM and a big thank you to all of you.
The good news is that we have new co-directors who are taking our role from next semester onward. So can we welcome up our new co-directors, who are Kenneth and Sonika. Congratulations, y'all. Y'all have been amazing to work with. You guys have worked super hard as PMs, and I can't wait to see how you take ACM Projects forward next semester.
Thanks, Anusha. I really appreciate it. I joined projects last fall, so all you participants, I was in your same seat. And I learned so much from my project manager and my supportive teammates. And now being a project manager and seeing just my teams grow, them grow in their confidence, and just have a great time with everyone else. I thank all the project managers here for just being a great friend group. I mean, you all are great people, and I can't wait to be part of this program in the future and see where it goes. So thank you, everyone.
At risk of sounding like a broken record, first of all, a huge thank you to Francis and Anushka again. Also, congratulations to our participants. Y'all have been working so hard for the past 10 weeks, and I know I can speak for all PMs when we say that we are extremely, extremely proud of y'all. On my end, as everyone else has said so far, I genuinely have learned so much from the ACM Projects program, both as a participant and as a PM, and I've made so many friends through this program as well. So I'm absolutely thrilled to continue working with ACM Projects as co-director. Again, huge congratulations to the participants, and of course, thank you to our judges, mentors, and audience members for supporting them. Looking forward to another great semester.
Thank you so much, Kenneth and Sonika. And with that, we'd like to thank you on behalf of the entire board of ACM Projects for supporting our amazing teams, and a huge thank you to our industry judges for helping judge our teams tonight. A huge thank you to our industry mentors for helping mentor our teams throughout these 10 weeks. And most importantly, a huge thank you to our participants and PMs for putting in so much work to make these amazing projects. Y'all are amazing. But with that, we will close out presentation night. Have a great night, y'all.
Team, before you leave tonight, we'd like to get a group picture of everybody. So if you could come on down to the front, we'll get that sorted.